time. It seemed to me like you had it. You don't, but that's fine. There's no point in trying to fix what ain't broken. No one's to speak that haven't been spoken. No one can tell me who I was meant to be. I said, take me.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Call of Duty Challengers community broadcast here for Stage 3, Week 2, Day 1. As always, it is a mouthful. Joining myself, Infinity, on the broadcast is Enigma. Apologies for the very short delay there that we had in terms of getting everything back online. We had a production problem. Apologies for the not being able to see the end of map number 1 as well, but it was War who walked away with it.
Yeah, an amazing end to that game, and it was a really interesting scramble, actually. Both teams were prioritizing P2 while still fighting for P1, but War do indeed see it out. We're into this S&D, and it's been a close one so far. Nvidian not getting off to the cleanest start, but it's very early days yet for a raid S&D, and as it looks currently, it very much could be a case of 3G going 2 rounds up here, unless Lucky manages to do something big in the back.
We'll see whether or not they're able to do it. Lucky does take down Kids, so now a 2 versus 2. Journey able to get the kill, and now this quickly becomes down to a Keza 1 versus 2. Time is actually on War's side here. They can well make this one work, and they do. And he almost takes down both players. Journey's lucky to have Flak Jacket, but it will be around there to Team War as they come back. What was that, a 2 versus 3?
That was, yeah, 2 versus 3. Lucky does indeed go huge, but that nade was nearly a godsend for 3G. But yeah, this is the play, actually. This is what he needed to do. Picks off Kids, and this causes a panic then amongst 3G. They're not expecting him to be there, and they end up just like spreading out and getting picked off one by one. So we're back level again, and we're going to see, I mean, Lucky started phenomenally. 6 and 3 right now, looking really, really hot. We're going to see a nice push here onto the B side. Everyone's going that way, basically. Nothing checked through the middle at all. It's going to be straight for it, and it's going to be Keza who's having to deal with the entire Spanish Armada coming his way.
Oh, you do not want to be staring down the Spanish Armada at any point, as Metals is going to take down Nile now, a 3 versus 4 Team 3G. They don't have the numbers in this particular situation. Nvidian's going to get this bomb down, and of course that's the right play in this situation. Kids does even up the odds here. Journey gets a little bit overzealous, but you can see War. They are poised to make this move. They do so, and that's just the power of, well, as we've already said, the Spanish Armada right now, 1 versus 3 for Beans. Does he have it in him? Does he have the beans to make this one happen? He gets 2! Brings it down to 1 versus 1 against Metals, but Metals comes out on top, gets the shots through Laundry.
Beans nearly does something absolutely disgusting there, right? Like, what was that? An insane play. I love this snap that he brings up. I'm not sure what that was, by the way. That's the wildest swing I've ever seen, but he gets this second kill, reads Nvidian like a book, and it's great out of them. I actually loved the way War played that. Once the bomb was down, they clearly made a call in their chat. We're all heading this way. They all went that way, flooded it out, killed anything that was in their path, and that meant that they knew that whatever remained was on one side of them. A great way of showing everyone who's watching that that is how you set up post-plant. Great stuff out of them. They take the lead, and Nade's time back and forth as we look to see 3G get this bomb towards A.
They've got no resistance whatsoever, so the quicker that Kids actually realizes that they've got a 3 bomb site over here, the better. Unfortunately for Team 3G, though, they've taken a little bit too long to make this one happen. Metals has already made this rotation, but not a problem for Kids. He will get the gunfight over towards Basketball, and now this just leaves Journey effectively in no man's land for this bomb going down.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough one. He's gonna go for this long rotation through the back of Mansion, I presume, and he's gonna have Nile and Kids who've probably already read this. It's actually some incredible timing. Is he going to get it on Kids as well? No, Kids will spot him with the shoulder, so that's enough. Nile as well. Just shoulder, just play your time. It's all on Journey. Journey's got to make something happen. He should know where they both are right now. He's going to try it. I love this movement. Is he going to spot Nile? He does not. Great stuff. Even again.
The thing is, they check that as well. Like, they check that corner. They actually know that maybe somebody's going to be there. It's just unfortunate that the gunfight doesn't come through. Of course, Nile has first shots in that situation, but Team 3G, they almost lost that round. But don't worry about it now. If you're 3G, you get it anyway. And now it's a 3-3 situation here in Search and Destroyers. 3G able to claw two rounds back to back, straight through the wall to kick this round off. It's going to be Lucky putting them in, but Metals and Journey here are going to kick off the round. Metals with 2 as well. The aggressive play from Team 3G over towards B. It doesn't work out, and now Beans left in yet another 1 versus X situation.
Yeah, he is 8-4. He's playing very well. He does get the first onto Evidian, so he's winning these gunfights, currently putting Evidian through a torrid time. I think he spots the edge of Metals. He does. He's not quite sure where the others are, though. I mean, look, if this man clutches up, give him a raise. If he's getting paid nothing, give him more of nothing. I don't mind, but this is going to be something out of him. Does indeed manage to get Journey. I tell you what, I got to give it to him. This is insane stuff out of him, but with 20 seconds, 2 more kills to get, I just don't see it. Doesn't happen.
No. You did say, to be fair, hey, it's not going to happen. And Andy, you always seem to be right in these situations. You always do. It doesn't.
Well, I mean, I'd love to sit here and say that I'm big brain all day, but a 1v4 situation, I'm not claiming the props on that.
Well, I mean, look, stranger things have happened here in Challenges. You know, we've seen some crazy stuff happen, and that always does happen here in Challenges Elite. Of course, these are the best of the best teams in European Call of Duty.
This gunfight through the middle that seems to spray, was that a thing back in the Black Ops 2 days? I don't remember it being so heavily done. Maybe it's just because the ARs are so good these days. Evidian somehow managed to kill himself with his trophy, so that's very unfortunate, but Metals is going to even it up. And we're in a nice spread here. Bomb going down on B. The tough situation at the minute for War is that they're kind of surrounded.
Yeah, you need to be the ones to retake the site if you're a War, and you have very little presence, but they do such a good job of it. As always, Kids is now in a 1 versus 3. He's able to get 1 kill before falling. And I was about to say there that War are in this kind of horrible situation where you've got to retake the site, but it's just so hard to pull off in that situation. They're able to do it, though, once again, winning their 1 versus 1s, and now War find themselves on map point. Again, ignore what you guys currently see on screen. You see that Team 3G won that round. They didn't War out on map point.
Yeah, apologies for that. I sometimes get caught out by it, and I do think I made the wrong a minute ago. But Journey there with a lovely little 2-piece to end that one. And yeah, you are seeing a really good start to this game out of 3G. It's reminiscent, right? It's reminiscent of that Apocalypse, a great start out of 3G. But then once War starts to get going on, I mean, Nvidian's currently 1-8, which is very surprising for starters. But also, it just goes to show that this War team can eke it out at all times, playing phenomenally, or even if they're individually having a moment or two. And right now, you're going to need to see 3 perfect rounds of 3G. Otherwise, they're going into the control Garrison in a very difficult spot, Brody.
We'll see whether or not 3G are able to climb back into this one. They're going for a bold play through the mid-map. They're able to take down Journey inside Zig. Lucky was just about to be the next name on the list. He will end up falling. So now it is going to be Team War in a 2 versus 4. They're more than capable of pulling this off, but you've got Nvidian, who maybe hasn't had the best game so far, 1-8 in this one with Metals, who, hey, he hasn't actually had a bad game, 8-5. They've made this into a 2 versus 3, but they are still worlds apart at the moment.
Yeah, very, very fast spread. Kids is going to catch Nvidian here, gets the shots in, does enough. And on the other side, Metals goes down, and it's a back to 1. It could happen. We've seen stranger things, but it's still very difficult to see 2 rounds on the bounce. I haven't been keeping track of who would be taking the attack round on the final round 11 if we do get there, but all the same, this is still a difficult situation. Beans is playing really well, 11-6 right now. You need to see something come out of Nile and just keep applying pressure. Nvidian's the weak link during this match. If you keep squeezing that, keep finding the gaps in this side, and you've got a great opportunity. But as it is, Bomb's going to be flying around towards that B site. It's already in ring, and I don't think a single person from War has actually picked up on this.
No, I mean, maybe they do know about it, but they've been able to retake this site previously, so they're pretty confident that they'll be able to do this one, but they've got no presence over towards B for the moment, and they're going to hit this all through Laundry. This is going to be huge from them. Do they win the gunfights, though? There's a trade coming on through. Nile going to be happy with that one as he trades out in his favor, and now it's just Metals in a 1 versus 3. Doesn't really have much time to make this one happen. Just 20 seconds left now. You're going to have to do this quick. Nile finishes him off, and that was just really unfortunate there from War. It was a bold effort to go all through laundry. It just doesn't work out.
It's a fantastic adjustment, actually, out of 3G. Remember I told you before about that retake situation? Sorry, the post-plant situation that War like to go with. They all go in one direction. They bunch up and they head there like a hornet's nest. And I think very early 3G went, okay, they're not coming this way. They're clearly coming the other way. And everyone turned to face in that one direction. Great stuff out of them. We are into a round 11, and we're going to see a lot of gunfights go down nice and early, Brody. This is what we love to see.
Look at the mid-map pressure coming in, though, from Team War. Niall with 2. He's going to get it done, and he gets away with his life. This leaves Lucky and Nvidian in a horrific position. They're going to have to split up here to make the heroics happen. Lucky's going to fall, and Nvidian, he's had a terrible game of Call of Duty so far. 1 and 10 in the search and destroy. Can he face down Team 3? No, he can't. It's a breakdown. 3 rounds on the bounce here from Team 3G as they're able to tie the series up at 1-1.
Breakdown indeed, and if you're Nvidian, you're just happy to not finish that one on a breadstick, right? Thank God someone gave you another kill, but that is a bad game out of him. Look, we can't put too much on it because he dropped a 30 bomb in the Apocalypse hardpoint, but he's not going to be keeping that one for his highlight reel, that's for sure. Great stuff out of 3G, though. We spoke about it in the Apocalypse hardpoint, right? We said about how weaker teams crumble under pressure. This squad are not doing it. They do have experience in players like Niall, like Keza, and clearly you can see that the likes of Kids and Beans, although they're performing just fine individually, I do wonder if the internal communications, the in-game leadership, the shot calling is coming from that experience. Don't worry about it, boys. These situations are turned around all the time. They nearly brought it back in that Apocalypse hardpoint. They do bring it back in the Raid S&D, and the momentum has got to be with them in the Garrison control. You've got to say, they're looking good right now.
Yeah, that's a crucial round 11. 3 rounds on the bounce there coming out from Team 3G. And if you're a Team Warrior, you're going to be upsetty spaghetti about that. That much is for sure, especially given the context of this particular situation. Team War here. Of course, guys, for those of you who are not in the know, maybe this is your first little taste of Challengers Elite. They're 0-3 in Stage 3. This is, of course, off the back of what's been a stellar season for Team War so far. They haven't had a good go of it. They currently sit in the relegation zone. So every single match from here on out is important for them, not just for seeding, but for survival. Let's take a look at the map set for this series then, show you guys how the remainder of this one is going to go out, because, of course, Andrew, you mentioned, talk about the momentum going into control. Well, we're going to Garrison for that.
We are indeed, and this is, I mean, personally, I think it's not the best map that we have in our pool, but it's here to stay for now, at least until we maybe see some changes. And on this one, you are definitely looking to see, for me, the way that this one works, if you're on that attacking side, which is so difficult, is you have to be willing to throw in something just off the cuff, like send someone to the opposite side randomly, just cause the team to spread. You've got to get them moving around, because if you are, it doesn't matter if you're 3G, it doesn't matter if you're War, if you are set up, you are not getting moved out in this situation. The one thing I will say that perhaps leans well on the side of Team War is that in that hard point, we saw that 3G really struggled with the defensive setups, right? And Garrison control is largely built on having that really solid defensive setup. So if 3G make those same mistakes, then this one edges back towards War for me. But with the momentum that 3G have going into this, this is going to be a good one. And as you said, this hasn't been War's stage. They've been so good throughout the rest of the season. This is backs against the wall time.
It is. It very much is. And I think the key thing here for Team War is, right, I mean, yes, they're 0-3. You know, we've talked about this, but they have actually faced some pretty hard teams along the way. I believe they've already faced Obtained, and I believe it's going to be August. I'm just going to double check that is the case. Yes, they have faced Obtained and August already in this season so far. So they've got 2 of what I would consider the 3 hardest matches out of the way. That being said, I don't know if that's the case anymore, because we've already seen some crazy plays coming out from Amelia Strays. You know, we know that Mavericks and Pushing are also 2 pretty good teams, especially against a roster such as Team War. And I guess now they're finding out for themselves that Team 3G are they've got some metal in them. So it's going to be interesting to see sort of how Team War do for the remainder of stage 3. Of course, guys, this is the last week of stage reaction. This is not the only stream that we've got going on at the moment. We have youtube.com/COD Challenges. That's the main official broadcast being brought to you by the Call of Duty League. You can go subscribe to that channel for all Call of Duty challenges throughout the remainder of the year. I believe Bryce, Tun, and Ellen are currently covering some crazy matches over there, so make sure you guys go check that out. But without further ado, we have Garrison Control ready and raring to go. It is truly a swing game in the series, and it's a swing game that War want to go their way.
Yeah, absolutely has to at this point. They have to get something going. We're going to see some early shots ring out of beams, but I do like to see this early setup out of War where you do send one player at least to A. Perhaps could get a bit more aggressive and get themselves into top green, but this is what they need to make sure of, that nothing surprises them off the bat. And 3G do have that top green control. You're just going to see a little bit of a standoff, a bit of chess, a bit of checkers, and they're just going to bide their time. Plenty of contests in, trades aboard, and here we go. We're kicking this one off nice and quick with a big hit here, massive out of Invidian. That's what you needed to see after that disgustingly poor search and destroy. But he comes out here with a big two-piece.
Now, it is worth noting here, talking about Garrison Control, it is a very defensively sided game. So don't be surprised if Team War walk away here with round number 1. Team 3G, they're looking for really any given chance they could get to make their way over towards B. And you can see those players sort of transitioning over towards Dark to make said push happen. But they've got to deal with runaway players such as Metals at the moment, pushing on through. Will actually get dealt with, and this should present an opening here for Team 3G to get on a B, make some regression, especially as those two ones go their way.
No, you're absolutely right about the way this map is defensively held. But I do think as the season has built, you are seeing more teams figure out how to attack this. And it's positions like this. So Niall now has put himself in that top green, gets a double kill, does get traded out, but it's moved a lot of players towards A because they don't have a choice. If they give that up, they risk losing both sites completely. So they have to rotate over. That gets them this lockdown on B. 90 seconds left for 3G, and they are looking good at the start of this one. It is difficult to attack here, but you've got to say, this is a great start to it.
This is a very great start coming out here. Team 3G, they've already got B. Now can they get A control? Keza, if he would have made the heroics happen there, maybe there was an opening to get control of A. But now Team War, they've been given a moment of stabilization. They've got control of green once again. Lucky, of course, in that power position. Will actually get shut down here. And Team 3G, they've been enabled to filter on through. If they can take out Invidian from this power position, an opening will be made. Invidian taking the shots down. Can he finish the kill? No, he can't. Team 3G now on the point looking for the gunfights. Journey able to pick up 2, though. They can't finish off. Journey picks up 3. Metals with number 4. And Team War, a moment of concern, a moment of worry is quickly dispelled.
Yeah, and Kez is super unlucky that he sticks the grenade to the platform in front of him, takes himself down to 18 health, which was incredibly unlucky. And this allows War now to push on out and try and give themselves breathing room to survive a wave or two. Kids, though, managed to get himself forward a bit. He's going to get spotted, takes a couple of bullets in the backside, and he's going to have to bide his time and allow his teammates to get near him. So, I mean, look, 30 seconds left to go. 3G probably one big hit of this, but Kids is going to be the star man. Gets Invidian, gets lucky, absolutely huge, does not get the third, but this gives 3G that opening that they needed. They take out Metals here, and this is game possibly right here, Brody.
Could well be just 2 more ticks of progression, and Team 3G, if they're smart about it, they'll just stack the point to get it done, but they don't do it. They try to focus on gatekeeping those kills elsewhere, and it's a full collapse coming in. Beans is going to fall. What a retake from Team War there, as now in a 6 versus 3. Team 3G down to their last 3 players, just 15 or so seconds left on the clock. You've got to clutch up once more. Can they do it? Keza loses the 1 against Journey, out towards Bricks. Journey takes himself down. There's an opportunity here. Niall gonna fall though, and it's all on Kid to try and make this happen. He gets 1, sides on through Bricks. It's not to be, but I've got a feeling that that moment there from Team 3G where they effectively had control of A will come back to haunt them.
I think you're right. I think that that is a huge moment right there. You definitely would be expecting to watch that one back on the VODs later and saying, like, how on earth do we go from a situation so in control to throwing it away? And look, that's where you need to punish a quality side like Team War. This hasn't been their stage, their season, for whatever reason. And look, there's still a really good side at the end of the day. We are in the elite, and you've got to punish every single opportunity you are given. I didn't actually see what went down amongst all the chaos, but if you're looking at maybe an individual right now, Niall's got to pick it up. We know he can, but he's got to make it happen if we're going to see 3G take a lead in this series.
And the thing is, Niall is a deadly force, right? When he's at full power, Niall is an incredible SMG player for this Team 3G side. So maybe, yeah, you're right. If he can start to pick things up, Team 3G maybe will hit their stride. But for the moment, they do end up losing round number 1. But it's not the end of the world. It was an offensive round at that. Those are kind of expected to lose per se when you're talking about a game mode like Garrison Control. The question is, how do Team War do on their offense? At the moment, that's 3 kills that are devastating for Team 3G. At this point, you're facing down the question, do we realistically want to push over towards A? And the answer is straight up actually no here. Kids goes back towards B. Team 3G, they don't want to give this one up, but do they have a say in it? I don't think they do. Team War able to pick it up. Now just going to clear the point, but too little too late. Damage been done.
Yeah, and this is a problem now. Metals gets this kill. This is bad for 3G. They're pinned in a corner, and if you are kids right now, you're in a very tough spot. But Niall wins it. There's that quality that you were talking about, completely snaps. But kids is under a lot of pressure, and this is where 3G need to show that spine and metal of their own. They do manage to get a couple of kills on the board, force War away. It gives them breathing room, but it's not a respite for long, Brody. 1:40 on the clock. This is going to be a long defensive hold.
I mean, that's the key thing here, right? Is that we'll have so much time to make this worm work. Obviously, you know, you don't want to take all the time in the world to make these pushes happen, but you still do have quite a lot of leeway in terms of, you know, building up these pushes and getting onto the point and then, of course, later capturing it. But Team 3G, at least initially, are doing a great job of removing all of the threats from every single corner, and that will also effectively bring down the deficit of kills to just 1. Gives map control back to Team 3G, and Team War back to square one here in terms of having to assault the point. Now kids trying to get some map advantage. Isn't going to do it. He'll only able to get 1 kill. But Team War at the moment, I think for Team 3G, have done a stellar job at least of just wasting the time.
Definitely, 100%. That time was the biggest problem. You can use such a lengthy amount of time to just set yourself up for something big. Maybe find a better position because you've got time to. Maybe play for some streak, something like that. But all of a sudden, we are into 50 seconds left. Kids, absolutely snaps. Love to see some of that. And they continue to knock them back. Wave after wave, getting bullied back by 3G. Great stuff out of them. Beans is on a 5 streak. Make it 6. And all of a sudden, this looks like it's last hit a chance for War. They've got to make something happen. Otherwise, we're even a piece and no one's won their attack round, Brody, and you just don't know which way this could go.
Team War, I mean, this has been 1:40 is effectively how much time they had to make this one happen. It's now just been reduced to the last 15 seconds. You've got to hit this now, Team 3G. What response do you have? Well, that's a pretty good response. That's a pretty good response. That's a pretty good response from Kids. He picks up 3, goes back for the 4th, is denied, but that's job done. Team War are getting nowhere near that point. You could have the longest toes in the world, and you ain't touching that point as Team War. 1:45 there. They had to make that one work. I'm pretty sure longer than that as well, but they just don't. Team 3G doing a spectacular job of batting them away every single time.
I'm not sure if the best play camera, you know, made a bit of a joke of things there, but Kids does so much there. My God. Gets the first, snaps onto Invidian, who's doing a moonwalk somehow through bricks, beams the 3rd as well. Absolutely insane stuff. I mean, can we get a task manager check on this boy or what? Like, what was that? That was absolutely top tier stuff. And I mean, look, we go into this next round even. And again, we've talked so many times about momentum, about how it's so important. And if you're Kids right now, you are feeling good about yourself as Niall finally starts to get a bit of heat into his shot as well. This is going to be a great, great round 3 right here, Brody.
Yeah, you feel comfortable about that round number 2 if you're Team 3G, especially with the start you're having a round number 3 now. Kids going to be able to pick up 1. Of course, unfortunately, takes down Keza also, but I mean, I don't think he really minds as he's on a tear at the moment, able to pick up 2nd now, and that's quite a lot of breathing room. You've got Bids over towards Square, able to provide some cover fire, at least distracting Team War away from the point, and that is, I mean, doing the job perfectly. Lucky has so much to do there, needs to take down Beans, and while all that's happening, Kids is sitting pretty over on the B site, taking down the control zone, and now again, you've got so much time to make this one work, trying to transition immediately over here. I love the aggression coming in from 3G.
Yeah, and Niall does this perfectly. He bought his time so much, waited. As Keza hit bricks, he then comes in afterwards for the second wave. Unfortunately, it's not enough. They do lose on the trade outs, but you can see the teamwork between the boys. They're just playing so well. The communication must be absolutely fantastic. They're really taking this fight to war, who at the minute are clinging onto this site. And that's a huge two-piece out of Metals. You spoke about how they have such a strong side, and you can see every now and again, they just turn it up a little bit. Okay, we need to bring a bit of fire here, and they do, and it's a great stuff out of them, but they are not out of the woods. 90 seconds left to go. If 3G had a long hold in the last one, this could be even longer for war, because right now there's so much pressure coming from all sides.
Good wave of kills coming in from Team War there. Keza's the only one to survive the onslaught, and even then I spoke too soon, as Keza is actually going to fall. So Team 3G going to have to go once again here. The time they had has now been cut in half, down to just 65 seconds. I say just 65 seconds. That still is quite a lot of time to make this one work. But again, you're just not winning every single gunfight. That's what you realistically need here. But if you can take down Lucky, maybe an opening, that's a huge kill for kids to make. There's just one player close by who could put a stop to any of this. And Team 3G, they don't even need to kill him at the moment. They just need to make sure they're in the position. But Journey slides on out. He picks up one. Beans and Nile are there for two. It's 3G. They're on the point. They're capturing it. What's Lucky going to do about it? You need to get on the point right now. You can't afford to dilly-dally. You need to get on the point. You need to do something about it right now. And that is what happens when you don't. Team 3G able to capture the point. They do what they were unable to do in round number one, which is stack the point as a team.
Stack the point indeed, and every single Optic fan in the chat is screaming it. But what we saw there out of Kids was absolutely disgusting, right? This, you know, you mentioned out of my first time casting challenges, I want to see some top quality Call of Duty. Kids has got his skates on. The guy's up, down, around the entire site, keeping war, guessing at every single corner. What a ridiculous map this boy is having, and it puts them in the driver's seat to take the lead in this series. Absolutely phenomenal stuff out of him. Bought enough time for the rest of his boys to get there. When they did, they won the gunfights. We go into what is a round that obviously is defensive for 3G. You've got to favor them. Could we see an end to it right here?
That's the question. Could we? Team 3G, they've already done the first task, really, of winning that offense. Now they've just got to do the autopilot thing, right, of winning the defense. And it seems like they're doing it well at the beginning of this round, as Nile and Beans are able to pick up a kill apiece. Team War now coming off the spawn, and I like this from Team War. They're playing this one safe for the moment. You don't want to go aggressive one by one because it's just wasting time, and that, quite frankly, is just not something that you have in your favor.
Yeah, you don't want to get put into that spiral, do you? Journey's going to pick up a nice two-piece, you're right. You spoke about it. They are spawning super deep right now, though. The pressure just causing them to have a long run to any sort of hill pressure. And the thing is that you were right about the fact that they've got to keep themselves mentally in control here and just work their way forward. They do have time on the hill now, so 35 seconds. They do realistically, though, need to make some serious progress at B right now. Otherwise, this one could be finished.
Well, that's a good kill from Metals to make. Finally dealing with the player that's been kind of a pain in the backside for the last few moments. Team 3G now, you've got to make a decision again. Do you want to take Team War off the point, or do you want to chalk it and go straight towards A? Again, they're actually using the former here, and I don't blame them at all. There were numbers in their favor. It reduces the clock down to just 30 seconds here for Team War to do something about this. Now, they have picked up a couple of kills, so there will be players on the point, and this should theoretically go their way. They only need one tick of progression, and then Team 3G, they should know that? Yeah, they do. I was going to say, I thought Beans was about to jump on that point and start making some superhero play, but he doesn't. Makes the smart decision here, wants Team War to come to him.
I actually love it because, I don't think that they realized that he was there, because I don't think the flash caught him at all. So therefore, they would have had no idea of his presence. It doesn't mean that much in the end, because he does get traded out relatively quickly, and the kill feed is going to be slightly red. Niall's in a lovely little position here, but he's going to take a couple of shots to stop him making a hero play. But yeah, some smart heads-up play from Beans, but you're going to need a couple more of them, because this is where the big wave could happen. Look at the pinch coming into effect. You've got two top green, you've got one sat in bricks. This is very much so the situation that War want to be in if they do want to win that crucial attack round right now.
Well, Nile and Kids are going to end up winning their ones, and that's going to be huge because it effectively wipes out all War presence around the backline. And realistically speaking here, 25 seconds on the clock, War have one good push left in them. They're not the type of team to go at this one by one. You're going to wait for your players. The Team 3G, they've got the defensive setup in the backline. Bean's able to pick up 2, and I said before, they're not the type of players to go in one by one. I don't think they have much of a choice anymore. You've got to hit this. You've got to make a play as a team, trying to go through the front. Nope. Nile is there with the denial, and Team 3G will be walking away here with an incredible map number 3 victory. It was really that map 4, or round number 4, sorry, that made all the difference.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, don't get me wrong, no one's really played poorly. No one's particularly, had a bad map, but I think that the man of the moment, the MVP for that one has to be Kids, right? We watched him go on a tear 1 minute, and then the next he was movement, shotsy on the map in front of us. He was absolutely insane. Honestly, absolutely brilliant stuff out of him. I mean, I've not seen much of Kids over his time. I couldn't really sit down and give you a breakdown of his career or play style or anything like that. But from what I saw right there, Brody, that was some top tier Call of Duty. And if you want to beat a team like War, you got to be bringing that to the play.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this much right now, and I'll say this in the knowledge that the War fans in the chat are probably going to have my head for it. There seems to be at the moment, what I'm seeing from this War roster, they lack the venom that they had previously. And what I'm talking about is sort of, back in what I would describe as stage 1 and stage 2. And to be fair, it's not like they lack it entirely, like consistently, because we've seen what they just got 3rd in Challengers Cup number 12. So we know that they're still capable of it. But right now, in this very moment, when it comes to these elite matches, they lack sort of that really well put together team hitting play, the trust in one another, just hit everything and make it work and win your one-on-ones. That is what was so dangerous about War previously, was just that unfiltered aggression. And it's just not there, or at the very least, it's not working out. 3G, they seem wise to it, and they seem to have an answer for it. Right now, that is not going to be going into a map like Raid.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not what you want going into a map like Raid. But you're right about the aggression. I mean, if you look at them, even statistically, and I know statistics aren't everything, to a guy like me who loves getting into a spreadsheet and stuff, it's great, but they were considerably less aggressive team throughout stage 2 than they were in stage 1. And what we're seeing is an even more loss of that. They're seeing, you do wonder, again, is the meta changes, or have they just, as you said, lost that bit of venom, maybe a bit of inner confidence? You think back to that stage 1 where they would get those clutches every now and again, right? On this very map, Nvidia doing that late flank where he picks up a 2 or 3 piece and all those kind of things. You aren't seeing that anymore. They definitely have the quality in this side, but for whatever reason, it's just not happening. And, they need to find something. Otherwise, this series is out. And honestly, I said it at the start. If they lose this one, I do not see them surviving in the Elite this season.
It's a big match to lose again. I mean, we talked about the fact that Team War, they've had actually not that bad of a run-in so far, to be fair. I mean, yes, they were 0-3, but they faced 2 really hard teams. A loss versus Team 3G, and this isn't a slight on 3G at all. I think it would raise some serious questions right now about Team War and where they currently sit in European challenges. But those questions will have to be answered another time as we look towards this Raid hardpoint in the moment. It has been a really good start for the team that we were kind of saying were flagging. Here, not having a bad start whatsoever, and what a break for the rotation also coming in from Journey.
Yeah, I think they've heard us. I think they've listened
They
to
definitely
us.
heard us.
They're getting the shouts from the chat. They're making it happen. They're taking a 60-point lead here. They've got the rotation in the bag. Great stuff out of them. And actually as well, if you look over at 3G, they're currently, the Kid's getting that kill there, manages to finally get him off of 1. But at one point, 3 of them were only on 1 kill. So, it might not be that venom or whatever that we were speaking about a second ago, but this is relentless pressure and that aggression that we need to see out of these boys, making it happen. And we're going to be in the scrap time for 2, looking for the rotation of 3. 3G is set up, but do War start to punch straight through the front door, considering the momentum they've built?
Well, Team War, they've built themselves up such a good lead here. Raid is relatively punishing for leads like these. We'll see if Team 3G, are able to find their way back on in, as currently they have control of the garage hardpoint. Nile looking to hold on to Jim. Unfortunately, can't lift those weights. Will only pick up 1 before falling. So far, so good, though, for Team 3G. They've only allowed one player to filter on through, and that's going to be Nvidia. And I think the best thing for Nvidia to do here is just stop other players from coming over the hardpoint. Or do that, Nvidia, hello, picks up 2. That should surely open up the situation here for Team War to come in for a break. Nvidia, hello, are you okay?
Absolutely amazing out of Nvidia. He loves his hard points. He's absolutely frying in them today. Search and destroy is maybe not his thing. He might not want to see a map 5 individually after all, but he's taking it that way with plays like that. What a fantastic stuff. Metals is going to snap on for 2 as well, and they maintain that 60-point lead. And although 3G are here first, 2 bodies are going to fall. They're spawning all the way out at Garage. All of a sudden, War look really, really good. I'm not sure what's been said in the chat in between maps, but they are heating up right now, and they are putting 3G in a blender. This is really good stuff. They've got a really good setup in. You're going to see a bit of a bait and switch that's going to cost Nvidia his life, but I mean, with the way War are feeling right now, I don't know if 3G are going to find any time on this hill, and suddenly it becomes a massive lead.
Well, that was a huge kill, actually, for 3G to pick up. Nvidia was on a 6 spree, 1 more kill to go his way, and it would have been an artillery strike to work with, but Metal's now starting to earn streaks of his own. A couple more kills to go his way, and it would be pretty much a very similar situation early on. This has been such a great map here coming in from Team War. They've been looking solid. They've won pretty much every single rotation, and when they haven't, they've broken it early on. How do you get into this one if you're Team 3G? Because at the moment, Andy, you have pretty much every single player is negative.
I love what Nile is doing here. For example, you've got to stop the momentum and the rhythm that War have built up. You've got to be a snake in the grass kind of thing. You've got to find a way of cutting them down in their tracks, making it so that they can't execute their plays. I mean, we've got Vamos in the chat. We've got momentum and big kills going on screen. So if you are 3G right now, you need to dig deep and really, really start to see out a hold or 2. And to be honest, we're into this hill here. We go into P1 again next. Both really contesty hills, not necessarily where you want to be trying to claw back a big lead, but they're going to have to try and get whatever they can out of these and then go for something big when we get to those Garage and Basketball hills.
Well, that's a nice chunk of time here coming in from Team 3G, but again, at this point, a chunk of time isn't going to cut it. You know, it's not going to cut the mustard. It's very as simple as that. Even giving away scrap time to a roster like Team Wolf, the proficient lead that they've built up over the course of this hardpoint so far, it's not a good look. So this needs to be a good rotation coming in here from Team 3G. They need to start getting back into this game effectively now. All the kind of shots going in from Nile. He will end up picking the kill in the end. Nice shot coming in from Keza. A nice stick coming right back at you from Nvidia, though. And it is going to be Team 3G early on here, holding on to this time. But Team War, they're not giving this one up just yet.
They're not at all. They are scrapping for everything. We just got a really unexpected spawn there for Lucky down at Garage. That's interesting. Split spawns galore, and I don't know if 3G are going to read this at all. So all of a sudden, they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and those hard places have got guns, and they are ripping them off of headies and everything. Beans is going to answer back with 2 of his own, though, so great stuff out of him. But Nvidian's put himself in a lovely little position to try and get these kitchen side spawns. Is going to get picked up though by Keza, so that's absolutely huge. Suddenly they are going to possibly get themselves back into this. I don't want to call it just yet because we've seen them fall to a couple of defensive holds. War punching in through the front door, but this looks good so far. They're getting themselves into a better place.
Not concerned just yet for a Team War. They have actually got an ace in the hole, and that's going to be Metals coming in from behind. Should cause a nice distraction. Only able to get 1, though. Still damage to be done here in from Lucky, who decides to go at it with a Diamati. And, of course, that's probably not going to work out when you're going up against the AK-74U of Beans. Or a Kid, sorry. Team 3G doing a stellar job of clawing their way back into this game. I'm getting Apocalypse vibes here, Andy. What was such a great lead at one point for Team War, it's now been diminished all the way down to just 10. And at the end of this hard point, there's no doubt about it. Team War here, they're going to lose their lead. Team 3G will pull ahead.
Yeah, Journey's really far pushed up there as well, actually. Like, possibly, no, the spawns are still going to be fine, so you're okay. But they basically, what 3G have done there is basically played as we said. You know, they need to be breaking up the momentum, making things happen. Beans has actually managed to slide through here, will get picked up. Fair enough. Great stuff by the observers to catch that one as well. And the thing is that now what you need War to do is be ratty and play those little corners and break up the momentum themselves. They've got a great hold here. Lucky's going to pick up a 2-piece. Garage is a great hill to hold if you want to be in a good position, and the team kill is going to come through. So the lead gets extended back out. But are you going to see Journey here make an early rotation to basketball, or are they going to give it up and just play for what's left here?
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to be really careful for a Team 3G in this situation, because look at the spawn that Nvidia just got. You're now fighting for what is effectively scrap time. And that, I mean, it's not worst case scenario here for Team 3G, but this rotation is now absolutely not in their favor. This is a rather large map when you're talking about running across it to try and make this rotation happen. And Nvidia already set up over here. He knew that Niall and Kids would be coming over from ringside and able to predict the play perfectly. It will be pretty much an even game going into this next hard point, but Team 3G here, you need to break in now. You've got players up top ready to do it. Niall and Beans. Nvidia in from behind. Nvidia in from behind. He's able to pick up that kill. Metals comes in and closes up shop on the other one as well. But Kids has somehow managed to slip on through. Will pick up one before falling.
Yeah, and they can technically still win it here. So you're going to have to see another couple of hits, a bit of time pressure. Kez is going to win the first. That's huge. He knows Metal's in that corner and wants to peek him. And it's just all of a sudden, Journey's gone absolutely huge. Picks up a 2-piece. 3G cannot win it here. So they have to continue to play this, make it mathematically impossible for War to win, and then rotate for their own. And the rotation for the next one, super contesty hill, by the way. So we are basically down to absolute scraps. And Niall...
No way. Niall has just played them so hard, Niall! That's a 5th in a row for him. He effectively shuts down that scrap time. 14-3G in a 1 versus 3 situation. Now, though, we look over at the rotation. It's Team War already over here. Lucky and Metals, they win the initial ones. You've got Team 3G now spawning out over towards the garage hardpoint, and Nvidia able to pick up 2. Just 13 points shy here. One more push left in both of these two teams, and it's going to have to be a ring push. But Journey picks up 2 over towards ring. You've got 2 players trying to make their way in from pool. It's surely not to be. Kids is able to touch the hill, but it's too little, too late. Team War, they win the crucial rotation in the final moments of the game, and we're going to game 5.
We are indeed going to a game 5. And what was the last S&D, Brody? Round 11. And that's exactly where I'm expecting this one to go. These two teams have got each other at the throats. I mean, 250 to 232, 250 to 220 in the hard points. We had a round 11 S&D. The control was separated by a moment of madness from Kids. So this is going to be a good one. We're heading into Moscow. Oh, what a great, great series this is so far.
Yeah, what a great series this has been. Let's take a look at our map set in just a moment for this series to really show you guys how everything has gone down so far, because it has just been incredible. Both hard points have been extremely close, and I don't know whether that says more about the tenacity of this Team 3G roster at the moment, or maybe just maybe the problems that we've seen, the holes in the gameplay that we've seen from this Team War roster that maybe were not as perfectionist as they once were. And here is that map set for you guys. So we start off the series on the Apocalypse hardpoint, of always a fun map to watch, 250 to 232, a 6-5 search and destroy in game number 2 that did go Team 3G's way. 3-1 victory for Team 3G, arguably I would say the most convincing victory of the series for either of these two teams on Garrison control. And then of course, Raid hardpoint, as we've just seen, Team War able to force a game number 5. But just to laser focus on that Raid search and destroy for a moment here, Andy, right? That was a map which Team War, they should have won. They were up 5-3 there, and 3 rounds on the bounce in how Team 3G secured it.
Yeah, and I think that there's going to be constant question marks in the minds of these War players. They're currently going through a really tough period. This is a huge game for them. I think it's fair to call it a choke if you're 5-3 up on Raid and you don't manage to see out another round from there. And this is the thing is as well about Moscow is it's a very first blood heavy map, right? Like on offense in particular, if you get a first blood, then your win percentage is it's high. It's very high. So I do think that if we end up slowing the pace down here a second, do those questions continue to roll for the Spanish boys? Do they continue? Do they maybe overthink a situation, overplay a situation, and 3G take advantage? On the other side of things, War, they've got plenty of experience in there. They've won multiple trophies so far this year. How many times have we seen them play Game 5 round 11s, by the way, in Game 5 this season?
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, we probably could have put a bet on this before this series started. So they have the experience. They just need to dig deep and remember who they are as a side and see it out here. But I'm not 3G. They look good. They look so good.
They do. Team 3G look very good at the moment. I think they'll be kind of content as well, considering kind of how this stage went for them. It wasn't their choice to lose Detain. I think it's one of the key things here, right? I mean, before stage 3, they were planning to play with Detain, of course, the remnants of the 67K roster and such, and train hard before that. It was supposed to be the sort of mix of 67K and train hard, and of course that's just not how it was. Detain was kind of yoinked by Obtained, and this Team 3G roster, they had to kind of settle in a way for kids, and I think that's actually been more of a blessing than maybe anybody would like to admit, right? Because kids has been, I feel at the very least, a revelation for this team, and I think a revelation for many people studying Call of Duty challenges that look towards these players, and you kind of ask questions about who's the next big thing. And Keza is definitely, I think, a talent, a diamond in the rough, I think would be the best way to describe a player like Kids, who has been on an FTW esports roster this season that have had pretty bad placements. So it's nice to see him get the chance to play on a squad like this with talented players such as this. While we've got the chance to talk about it, guys, of course, this is not the only match that we'll be showing tonight. Straight after this one, we're going to be showing Amelia Strays versus Elevate. That's going to be a match that could well decide which team comes out on top of the round robin stage here. And of course, seeding does matter. We talk about, August in stage 1 with Elevate, or Passion back then in stage 2. Those teams right now are kind of that mattered. The seeding mattered for that position. So it's going to matter for that second match for the moment. I believe what we're going to do, guys, is because we've got a current production issue, we're going to take a very short break before jumping into this map number 5. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Apologies for that very short delay. We kind of had to sort an issue on our end, so we do apologize for that. We're back into this one. I know that we missed the first 2 rounds, but it's been a pretty good start here, Andy, hasn't it, for Team War?
It has indeed. First round out, Nvidian picks up a big 3 to see that one through, and then that second one was relatively closer, but still, it is War on top, and this is what they need to be doing, right? They need to establish that lead, not let it be close, not let those questions come in and those moments of nerves come through. They just need to see out some really solid Call of Duty. It's a very wide hold, actually, here from 3G. First Blood's going to come through for Metals. Beans taking a couple of bolts in the back, but we do have a level playing field, and Journey's going to get spotted as well. So this actually, Journey wins that gunfight, does eventually get traded. Lucky left in a 1v2, and this could be the gunfight. Wins onto Beans, who doesn't know where Nile is right now.
No way, Lucky! Oh, Nile makes it happen. There is no way that should be happening there, as Nile ends up winning that 1v1.
For a second there, I didn't know which way that was going to go. Like, it looked like Journey had snapped on enough, but apparently not. Nearly makes the impossible happen. It's 2-1. It's as close as it can possibly be. The 3G answer back and get this level, and then we've got a very, very tight game on our hands. I mean, again, War, you've got the defensive side. You've got to get that first blood, and then just play safe from there. This is such a good map for doing that, for making that strategy happen.
It is indeed. Currently War 2-1 up. Can they end up winning round number 4 here, as it's going to be a double blind straight towards the A site? Kid's able to draw first blood. Journey picks up 2 of those huge kills to shut down the play. Metals follows up with number 3, and now Keza all on his lonesome in a 1 versus 3 takes the shots away. Metals on the half wall though. Keza, I mean, even if you get away here, this is just such a tough situation to win. And, well, there's why. Team War, they recognize and they have him dead to rights, and he ends up coming out on top.
Yeah, hunted him down, didn't give him a second of breathing room. Great play here out of Journey. No one checks this. They slide on out, and Journey's just going to gobble those up all day. Player of his talents. They keep that buffer, they keep that breathing room. Journey 6-3. That's what you want to see out of one of your star men in a game 5. They need to just keep doing that. Keep punishing any sort of mistake that comes through from 3G. Kids has been brilliant so far this series. Can he step it up and claw them back in?
Well, Team War being slow with the bomb on this initial push at the very least, going straight for the mid-map, but that nade lands onto Nile. No way! What a Kobe coming out from Metals to kick off the round. Unfortunately for War, though, it's a very short-lived victory. It's immediately traded out. Journey is going to fall. But Team War, they have their heart set on a B push. Do they deal with Beans around the back line? Of course, you just do not expect Beans to be there that often. Beans going to work off that misplay, and now a 2 versus 3 for War.
Yeah, no, great read out of Beans there. Saw it coming, deals with it. It's a fantastic play, and it just did enough, not only to stop the push, but to say to his teammates, all right, I might need some support over here, but they've gone back the other way. Metals is going to clean up Keza. The problem that War have is that they've got to get the bomb down, and that is not going to be what Metals wanted to do for his teammate. Lucky's going to get 1. That is the weirdest looking 74U ornament I've ever seen. Kids, is he going to read this?
Oh, Kids. Oh, Lucky with the win.
They continue to get that. They continue to hold that gap. Tight rounds, but this is where they've got to come through. They're making it happen, Brody. Do we see them absolutely steamroll this one? It would be, anticlimactic against what has been an incredibly tight series. I'm not ruling 3G out of this one, but these little 1v1s, they're going the way of the Spanish boys. I don't know anything around host situations and all that stuff, but right now it is those men coming out on top.
Team War having a stellar game number 5 here. Great performances all around from this squad. Team 3G having a bit of a slow one, but again, never count a team like this out. They're able to win 3 rounds on the bounce in game number 2 to close out that one. Of course, that was a gutting loss there for Team War. They won't want it to happen again, but they will lose Nvidian at the start of this round. Metals is going to come in with a trade, and that should slow up the push. But Team 3G, they realize they've got an open A bomb site, and they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Beans is ready for this one. He sees him coming. He's going to lose the gunfight anyway. He gets absolutely torn apart there. I'm not sure if he got shot by both or one, but he went down quicker than we could blink. Kezza's got himself. I like this little position here. He's just going to play a little cruddy corner. And if anything comes through there, he's going to pick it off immediately. But it's a mid hit from Metals and Journey. Metals currently 7 and 3. Is he going to add to his tally? I was just waiting on the half wall.
Oh, Metals is going to win the fight. And now it's just Kezza. A 1 versus 2. This is one you desperately need to win, to be honest. Metals and Journey want to sniff him out, but look at this corner from Kezza. They're going to check it. If you'd have waited a little bit longer, you could maybe make it work, but it doesn't matter anyway. Metals flies round the corner. War here, going to be able to pick up this round, and now you're in a horrific position if you're a Team 3G. I mean, they came back from a 5-3 disadvantage earlier on. Now 5-1. That is a much bigger ask.
Lining up wall bangs and everything there, lining up plays. That's a super. I didn't know that existed. I didn't know you could line that piece of the bus up. Absolutely, I'm taking that one for league play. But yeah, you're right about war. They definitely extended this one out. Metals goes absolutely huge. Currently 9 and 3, and this is absolutely heartbreaking for 3G. There's so many rounds where I felt like they've had it in the bag, they've been in a good situation, and now they're about to get an extremely unlucky read as all their timing goes against them. They might get back just in time if War push through on this one. You're going to see Kezza already begin the rotation. They've realized Kids might win a gunfight here, needed to really, and doesn't, and this is going to have to be a full retake for 3G. Otherwise, this is over, Brody.
If Team War keep control of Laundry, they should be fine. Very often you see the teams make the mistake of kind of backing up towards the street, and that's when they'll lose control. But this time, it's a major setup coming in from Team War. They did have Invidian out on the street, but he is chucked out further, apparently. And this very quickly comes down to Journey in a 1 versus 4. What a retake from Team 3G.
Absolutely brilliant. Beans picks up a massive 2-piece there, and that's... If you wanted to get back into this, I do believe Beans is close to... Oh, no, never mind. Okay, no, I'm talking complete rubbish. He is not close to streaks at all. But a round back on the board. They need to do 4 more of those. I would love to be able to sit here and say, oh, no, this is a step too far for these boys. But what happened in Raid S&D, Brody? 5-3 up, completely brought it back. So could it happen again?
Could it happen again? That's a question and a half, isn't it? Could it happen again? You don't want to posit it because I know there's quite a lot of fans here in the chat that will be praying that War end up winning this. I know that the management team are quite passionate folk as well, and they'll definitely want a win on the board. It's what they've desperately been searching for here. Well, Team 3G, are they going to win this round? It's a good start from them. Niall able to pick up 2. Metals does pick up 1, but the advantage still lies in Team 3G's favor, and I love this. The urgency to get this bomb down. The problem is as soon as Niall gets this bomb down, this should be a kill from Invidian. Oh, no! Not like that, Invidian. Niall gets up from the bomb, slaps him down, and lucky, he's just trying to find a way off the map.
How on earth does Niall win that gunfight, by the way? What was that? Like, all the way through this map, I've been like, oh, the bullet reg, the bullets are all hitting, everything's going great. How does Niall... Are we going to get to see this? I don't think we do. Wait, we might, unless it's just going to be us watching him put a couple of buttons in.
No, we're going to see it.
This has to be, like, perfect.
Oh, snaps on him. Oh, boy, Invidian. He's been taking to school. He's learning all the subjects, chemistry, geography, maths, you name it. He's on it. Team 3G. Oh, goodness me. Well, look, Team 3G, they're not out of the woods on this one just yet.
They brought 2 rounds back. Could it happen again? Maybe, but I mean, they've still got quite a ways to go. But if you know, big comebacks only start with wins and 2 on the board. Can they make it 3? And suddenly all the questions come through. Metals is currently 10 and 5, but other than that, everyone's just kind of playing their own game, right? Everyone's had a couple of moments. Niall's actually on a 3 streak, by the way, and it's bit of dancing, bit of testing the waters right now, checking each other's moves out, but nothing happening. On to 50 seconds, and at some point, War have got to make progress up this map.
Team 3G, they've kind of scared them off a little bit, right? Team War, they don't want to make any unnecessary moves. They do not want what happened in map number 2 to happen again here. But there's always the possibility Niall has to do something. And oh, he almost caught them with their pants down, but Journey takes him down before Niall can do any real damage. And now if you're a Team 3G, you're in a bit of a panic mode here. You might see Team War maybe looking at a rotation on the cards. They try it, but Kids here, unfortunately for him, goes for the flag from behind. Invidian shuts him down, and now the rotation, it's on. I love this heads-up play call coming in from War.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Kez is going to get a couple of bullets in the side. Gets the bomb down.
No?
Absolutely huge out of him.
What? How does that happen? How does that happen? What are War doing? Where's the support? He gets through. Keza runs straight through Invidian, takes down Keza, and gets the hell out of dodge. What's going on?
I don't think it was Invidian.
It was either Metals or Lucky. But either way...
Whoever that is just costing them around big time. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Brody, it's happening. Oh, this is bad. This is, well, I'm not on anyone's side here. This is great for us. This is fantastic for us.
Oh.
But War have got to be counting something, saying their prayers, whatever. They have got to be wondering what's going on here, because all of a sudden 3G are truly back into this one.
They are indeed. 3G, they're definitely back in the conversation. How loud is their voice? It's Team 3G now. They are the ones on the offense here. Now, I will say this is one positive for Team War is now if you're a Team 3G in this position, again, you're still in no position to try anything crazy in case it turns out to be a mistake, right? You still need to kind of play this one by the book, and you're seeing that in their gameplay at the moment. Relatively apprehensive, and the one moment that they don't get apprehensive, Niall wants a slice of the Invidian pie. Fortunately, it doesn't turn out in his favor, and now Team 3G, they're one man down. They're going to choose to get this bomb down at B, and if they do it quick enough, War won't stop them.
Yeah, that's an absolutely huge play there from Kids. Get the bomb, get it down as quickly as you can. It's their best chance by a mile of winning this. Beans is going to snap on for the first. Will be traded, though. The bomb, for some reason, hasn't gone down. They must have hesitated, and Lucky might get blessed timing here.
Oh, he gets away. Lucky gets away. If that would have been a kill for Team 3G, this becomes a scary situation for Team War, but they're still trapped in there, and now it's just Keza, a 1 versus 3. He gets one, gets away with his life for the moment. Do Team War jump on this defuse? Not just yet. They're playing it careful. Kez is going to come in. He's going to check the corner, though. Lucky checks it, and Team War here, they walk away with their first victory in Challengers Elite Stage 3. Team 3G, they made that one close, though. 3 rounds in the bounce one once again, but this time they don't finish it here in around 11. Team War, first win in Challengers Elite, and a theoretical sigh of relief for them, but probably a realistic one too.
A massive, massive sigh of relief there. Like, we've spoken so many times throughout this series. It hasn't been their stage. It hasn't, how many times have like situations gone against them, and we're like, it's a mix of them throwing it away and just awful luck. And then 3G continue to punish their mistakes as well and put them onto the burner. And when you're 5-1 up and suddenly it's 5-4, I would love. I don't speak a word of Spanish, but I would love to have been in that chat all the same, because they must have been going for it. Absolutely.
Oh dear, yeah. If there was ever a phrase of head in your hands, concerned at the time, that would definitely have been it. But War, they managed to survive their brush with death. I will say I'm not entirely convinced at the moment. They still went Game 5 with Team 3G. There are still holes, I think, in their gameplay that do need filling. So great performance there coming out of Team War. And I also will say as well, for all of 3G fans in the chat, I know there are still going to be 3G fans about. Don't you guys worry. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, to be honest. You managed to force a Game 5 in that series versus what have been one of the best teams this season. Of course, Team War, they got down stage 1, for heaven's sake. They are an incredible team. And for Team 3G, I think you walk away from that series with your heads held high. Now, guys, we are going to have a bit of a change of schedule here. So we were planning to have Amelia versus Elevate on stream, of course, because of the importance of that matchup. Of course, it's not going to be streamed here anymore. It's going to be streamed at youtube.com/COD Challengers, of course, by the wonderful voices of Tan, Bryce, and Ella. Well, maybe not so much Tan, but, you know, we'll leave that one out. You guys can go check that out, of course, over at that stream. We're going to be focusing, I believe, as long as the players let us, on pushing versus war. So all you Spanish fans in the chat, don't go anywhere because we've got more Spanish Call of Duty coming your way. It's going to be the Spanish face-off. First, though, we're going to be taking a break. When we return, we've got more Call of Duty for you guys. Don't go anywhere.
crushed beneath their weight. I'm paralyzed, it's killing me. I only wish to be okay. I feel the same, but they will never see. Can you feel the heat? I surrender before my defeat. I guess I ran my course and now I'm chasing everything I fear. I'll leave that blurry brain, feeling lost my soul. Now you're everything is the end. Like you calling me, 'cause I want to know if you're everything, everything is real. Yeah! I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm running on empty, like I'm on fire and there's nothing left to burn. The chance to blow it all to hell is so tempting. It's now or never, 'cause you never learn. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low. I got no place to go. Like my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I get this feeling when I'm so close to breaking. I can't see straight and my vision blurs. I get up, I get down, kiss the sky, hit the ground. Don't know why, don't know how. I get high, I get low. I got no place to go. Like my fuse, I'll explode. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm dangerous, so dangerous. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous. I can't get ahead, and I've had enough. I'm feeling so dangerous. I'm losing my head, I'm all out of touch. I'm feeling so dangerous.
apologies for that, guys. All of that intro that I just went into, it was a really long intro. It was actually quite nicely flowed. You guys heard none of it because I muted myself in OBS Ninja while I was chucking water down my throat. Anyway, we're back now with Call of Duty Challenges League. I'm not going to go through the whole Shazam again. It's me, Infinity. It's Andy, Enigma. We're here to cast some Call of Duty, and we're already into game number 1 between August and Mavericks.
We already did, and it's not a surprise to see Nasty absolutely tearing it up in this game. Minute 46 in the hill. The boy's got a timeshare whilst running 17-9. Fantastic stuff out of him. On the flip side of things, Super's probably not having the best time. And that's about where the game settled individually. However, coming into this one late, we can't tell you exactly what has gone on. But looking at it from here, we've got a situation where August could win on the next hill. Mavericks need to have a couple of clean ones. And unfortunately for them, this next one is a scrappy hill as we fight around trash, but it's a deep spawn for August. Mavericks are in prime position. Could we see something that makes this a little bit spicy towards the end, Brody?
Could we indeed? As August right now, they're having a pretty good time here. Mavericks, will see what they're able to do. Can they break in for the remainder of this game? They're going to get the scrap time here, you'd imagine, at least, with 35 seconds left on this hard point. August still looking to come on through artillery. They're actually on the worst side of the coin, you'd imagine, for this inevitable rotation over towards New. And Super was on a 5 spree there. If he was able to continue on towards streaks, maybe that would have been the key to unlocking the remainder of this game for Mavericks. Unfortunately, it's not to be. They will just settle for the remainder of the time, and hey, there is an opportunity for them to come back into this map. Now, one thing I will say, guys, as we enter the closing stages of this map, this is not going to be our focus for the second game here. We're going to be taking a peek into this series as the series does progress, but our main series will be pushing versus War that will be starting up next.
Yeah, can't wait for that one. That's going to be an absolutely fantastic game. But back to what we have in front of us for just a minute. Vortex is going to get a little bit too close to comfort for that barrel, but going to fall, trying to get himself onto the hill. Kill feed is blue, so this is the momentum that Mavericks needed to build. They still can't win here, so what they need to do is just get enough time, get it into a position where they can then rotate cleanly into P1. But Super's going to pick up a huge 2-piece of great stuff out of him, getting nice and aggressive, and this tank side spawns for August, and all of a sudden, the panic bells must be going. Super's onto a 5. He's looking for number 6. He's probably going to get shot in the back because Josh is just round the corner. Does indeed fall. And we have a lead for Mavericks. Probably going to give up the scrap time to give it to August. And it is August in the driving seat for P1. And it's all going to come down to the wire here.
Yeah, this is worst case scenario for Mavericks as we go into what will probably be the final hill of this game. August, they are up by a couple of seconds. And Mavericks, I mean, you can't really focus on that scrap time. You've got to be careful about this next hardpoint. Sukri, able to pick up 1. Josh is around this corner. We'll be checking it out. Josh lands a Semtex right at the feet of Sukri here. Mavericks trying to fly through. It now just comes down to Yakko inside. He's going to pick up 1 before falling. And Mavericks just cannot get the numbers done. Super could not finish the gunfight. August still carrying on here. Picking up the seconds in time now. Mavericks, you've got to hit this as a team effectively right now. You can't just sit back and let them pick up this time. Finally, they will get on in, but Vortex only has to win this one gunfight. Nasty picks up 2. August will close out map number 1. What a close one there, Andy. An incredible start to that series between August and Mavericks.
Yeah, and it's actually the end, sorry, the actual going of events there that probably go under the radar a little bit is Harry's play as an AR. He does a fantastic job of covering his teammate, gets the kill to ensure that Vortex is able to stay alive on the hill. If that doesn't happen, that might have been a different hill because suddenly Harry has to come away from the AR spot and get into the hill himself. Might have been a bit of a tastier end. Great work out of him. And they go 1 up.
They do indeed. Well, let's take a look at our main series for this one. We are going to be staying on with Team War, which I know a lot of fans will be happy with. We're going head-to-head Team War versus Pushing Gaming. We're getting right into what will, could well be a 5-map thriller. We've got Pushing Gaming sitting at the very bottom of the table at the moment. 0-4 have yet to win a series. But to be fair, given how this entire elite has gone for Team War, I mean, Pushing Gaming, if they're going to take any series, this could well be the one.
Yeah, no, we had them just in front of us, Team 1. They do have a couple of vulnerabilities, right? They are not that same side from stage 1, and they were still strong at stage 2. This definitely hasn't been their stage, though. So, yeah, this is where they could make something happen. It's a torrid time for them right now. If they lose this one, I think that actually guarantees relegation at this stage. So, the literally fighting for their elite lives right now. They were definitely the underdogs after you saw the qualifiers, but they've got to take it here and really push hard onto Team War, and it's War who have the lead, and those P2 spawns not what you want to see.
Team War, they're already over there for those PT spawns, as you rightly mentioned here, Andy. You've got Torres now trying to push on through. He's going to be the closest player for this pushing gaming side to actually do something about this initial hold from Team War. Malfoon tries to make his way on through, gets immediately shut down here by Journey, who again is his closest player, will land a Semtex. And I mean, pushing gaming at this point in time, they can't even get a look in. Maybe they are getting a look in, but that's it. That is it at the moment. Journey's shutting them down, pushing through Temple. Team War do such a splendid job of holding on to this time.
Yeah, not a sniff for pushing, right? They're not out of single digits yet. This is not the way you want to start. We've got one heck of a map set ahead of us, but I mean, we might not see too many if War are feeling this hot. 7 and 4 from Journey, 6 and 4 from Invidian. Metals is double as well with 46 seconds in the hill already, by the way, as we rotate into P3, and Journey's just lighting them all up. Okay, fair enough. He's feeling himself. This could be very quick if Pushing Gaming don't find something within themselves and dig deep.
This is a massive rotation coming in from Team War here. I mean, Pushing Gaming, they don't look comfortable at all in this particular position. Team War have battled them on every single rotation, and that rotation is just so huge. You know, you talk about P2, it's effectively a foregone conclusion if you spawn on that side of the map, but Pushing Gaming gave up so much time on what was an integral rotation there to Team War, that they've again given themselves quite a nice buffer here early on in this game. It doesn't put them out of the game by any means, but as we turn our attention over towards the next hard point and a rotational gunfight that's going down, Pushing Gaming will actually win one of it and should have the spawns out towards the back.
Yeah, interesting play call out of War, actually. They were set up. They had a decent little hold around the Temple side, that P2 area. I was kind of surprised to see them still try and push through P3 in order to get around the back of the map. I know you want this side spawns and in order to control a preferred part of the map at this point, but it might have made more sense actually just to beeline it through one side, straight through that P3 and out through the back. Doesn't work out for them. They're going to be spawning over on the far side of Temple. It's unlucky to make something happen down near No Man's Land. Raincore's hitting his shots though, and it's 5 Street that will fall eventually, but Pushing Gaming are clawing themselves some time back into this. Do we see them get close? I mean, it looks like War have already started to move away a little bit and prioritize P4, so never mind as I say that, they start to hit a pinch, so ignore me.
This is Call of Duty. Anything can happen at any given moment, and Team War, they decide with 20 seconds left what people would normally consider scrap time, just to go straight for it. And the reason for that, of course, is because you have to push through that hard point to make it over towards P5. They knew that pushing would have spawned out elsewhere, so now it becomes about this rotation. Lucky wins a crucial one-on-one engagement. Zappy tries to climb the ladder and will actually pick up that kill against Lucky. There's no immediate trade coming in from Metals, so Pushing Gaming still have quite a bit of pressure inside. Metals, no! Oh, Metals flies out of the map, and that will be the end of the pressure coming in from Team War on the hard point.
That is unbelievably unfortunate. I've not seen anyone fall down there yet. Metals, thank you for showing me that for the first time. Anyway, we're going to see a last bit of scrap. They've managed to get in. Invidian picks up a huge 2-piece. Great job out of him. And they're onto the hill. So it looked like a commanding position for pushing. They had complete control. Probably would have got things back level. And Invidian opens things up with a 5-piece. Very good from him. Probably moving towards some streaks. And Metals actually gets all the way around the back and picks up his own 2-piece. Okay, complete control setup for P2 again. He's going to prioritize this right-hand side, and War could really run away at this point if this is a strong P1.
Team War here. I mean, to be fair to Pushing, they've done a really good job of finding their way back into this game with back-to-back pretty good hard points, but Team War, again, that lead is still palpable and all these kills going their way. You can now see Metals and Lucky start to heat up in this one. 4 sprees a piece for them. It will be about 15 seconds or so before Pushing Gaming even get a sniff of this hard point also. And I think the bigger problem at large here, right, we talk about this so often, as Invidian picks up too, is those spawns which Team War have control of.
Yeah, and if you are pushing as well, it's a bad enough thing that we'll have control of Temple for this next rotation, right? But if you're pushing, you're spawning all the way on the other side of the map. I don't think there's a pixel left for them to spawn in, and they're so far away. So every single time you fall, it takes you so much longer to get there. Alfoon's going to drop, and this is the thing as well. The War SMGs are frying right now as Journey picks up another couple of kills in front of us, and that just hasn't been happening for pushing. You know, Alfoon finally gets himself another one, 8 and 14. Zappy's 10 and 18. This is just the relentless pressure from War has been way too much for pushing to handle different classes here, Brody.
Yeah, it's just a different class at the moment, isn't it? Coming in from Team War. I mean, this is more of the Team War that we've come to know and love over the course of the Challengers Elite season so far. Stage 1, of course, champions there. Stage 2 made it pretty far in the tournament. I believe it was 3rd place they ended out with. But stage 3 hasn't gone so well for them. This is, again, more of what we love to see from Team War. Every single killer's going their way. They could well finish it here. Great performances all around. And if you're pushing gaming, you got to find your way through. But you just can't, because Team War continuing to muddy the waters, getting every single second possible, getting every single kill possible. And pushing gaming didn't really even look like they got a look in.
No, not even slightly. That was difficult to watch if you're a pushing gaming fan. They just got absolutely bullied out. Nvidian was picking up streaks left, right, and center. I mean, you can see it there. Look at the SMG pressure. Metals and Lucky are bouncing around inside that hill, baiting, switching, playing for each other. Nvidian joins them with an SMG because why not? And they just looked really, really good. Good enough that Metals could go for a dive into the jungle and them be completely fine. So yeah, it's tough times for pushing. We're gonna move to an Express S&D off the back of this, and I mean, I don't know enough about pushing's S&D game to really say much here, but they showed no signs of any sort of resistance there. As we said, different classes right now.
Different gravy, I think, would be the best way to describe it at the moment. Team War. I mean, it's kind of funny because we discussed this in the last series, right? That Team War at the moment, I think it was in regard to the game 4, or maybe it was the game 3, where it just like the vigor that they've had in the past, it hasn't been present, at least in that last series, and certainly so far in Challengers Elite Stage 3. It's just that pure, unadulterated aggression that makes War such a special team, and generally speaking, that has actually applied to Spanish teams as a whole. There is something about Spanish teams just flying at the opposition, and it seems to work out for them every single time. That's been absent for War, and I think that's a big reason why maybe their confidence has been knocked so far with Challengers Elite. But hey, in that map, it was back in spades. They just ran as a team, and I mean that best play we actually saw where they broke P5 immediately is a prime example of when it works for this Team War roster, and you really do love to see it there as game 1 did conclude. So we're about to jump into game number 2. It's going to be Search and Destroy. We're going back to Black Ops 2 for Express. I'm very excited to get in this one.
Yeah, it's a great map, isn't it? It's a really good map to it's just executed. It's so well done in the sense of like plays on both sides of the map work. And I think after the S&D pool that we were given at the start of the map, that's kind of refreshing, right? Because half the maps you could only plant one bomb really. And then you end up, okay, we're going to throw Express back in the pool. And if it goes to A, it's some really great gunplay. If it goes to B, some really great gunplay. And it does look like we will be over towards this A side. So gunfights absolutely galore, by the way, all over the place, and we're going to be set with a 2-2 situation, and it looks like the bomb isn't down yet, but possibly a retake situation for War as they try and set up a pinch.
It is a rather interesting dynamic here for Nvidian and Lucky. They're worlds apart at this point in time. Nvidian does spot out Torres, pushing gaming. Looking to push the issue here. I really love the aggression, but Nvidian's going to read that play. 9 times out of 10, Nvidian knows exactly what's up, and there it is. Gets the kill onto Torres, and Rencourt, now in a 1 versus 2, is able to get that first kill.
Yeah, and this is a case of trying to just feel each other out, right? This is a situation where they've gone to the opposite sides of the map. And Nvidian thinks he thinks he has an idea. He's so far off the play, it's not even funny, and he's going to miss his jump up onto the train as well. So that could give Renko an extra second. He does get led down inside Ticket. Nvidian has no idea where he is. Renko can just play this in a very patient manner, take his time, force Nvidian, make the issue come from him. Are they going to spot each other at all here?
Renkor doesn't need to move. I mean, that's the key thing in this position is Renkor is just laser focused on that bomb. As soon as he turns his corner, there's the shots, but Nvidian! Oh, Nvidian! Oh, he snaps on him. Oh, that's so rough for Renkor. Renkor literally sat there for the entirety of the 40 seconds. I love the play from Renkor, to be fair. He stayed staring at that bomb for the longest time. But Nvidian just comes around and ruins the play like that. It was so quick.
Oh, dear. Oh, no. Okay. I mean, when we were watching the previous game, right, and Nvidian got beamed by Nile on Moscow, I feel like that is just karma for that situation. But all the same, Nvidian, it shouldn't be winning that gunfight like that. My goodness me, what a play out of him. And War take the lead. If you're pushing right now, I think that is... you wanted to answer back with something strong. You didn't want that situation. That's possibly one of the worst situations that could have unfolded in front of you. So, and now look, he's going to pick up a first blood as well. So all of a sudden, all backs against the wall for pushing. It's looking very difficult. Bomb is not anywhere near the getting planted, but it's further up the map.
It's going to be a slow one here for a Team War. They want to take their time with this. Torres is going to fall, and that's just huge, really. It effectively shuts down that one lane for pushing gaming.
Timing here could be very interesting.
Oh! Catch this one, Renkor says. And he definitely does, but now it's Zappy in a 1 versus 2. This bomb is down. I do love the apprehensiveness from Lucky and Metals just to make sure that Zappy's not going to run out there, and as soon as he does, Metals should have his number. There you go. He's got his number. He's dialed it and chucked the phone away.
Yeah, no, he well played heads-up stuff there. The situation here looked really interesting. He gets this kill to stop the defuse, and then I'm not sure who was it who got the stick, but yeah, really nice play there. And actually, if the timings had worked out a little differently, there's an extra half second between a trade, that could have been a 2v4 clutch right there. That would have been absolutely huge. As it stands, though, 2-0 up for War. They're looking relatively comfortable. Nvidian's 4-1, and the bomb is going to be flying straight down middle here. This could be some immediate opening gunfights.
There you go. Journey wins it just like that. Torres has his life drained. And immediately pushing once again here at a disadvantage here in this search and destroy. Team War. They've got full control over B. And if you're pushing in this situation, if you're smart, you get yourselves over to that A site as quickly as you possibly can, right?
Oh, 100%. You've got to try and find some advantage out of this situation. Losing first blood on any S&D map is bad. On Express, it's pretty damn awful. And the situation here is, I know that oh, wow, Journey, okay, trying to kill himself and even things up on the board. That would have been very kind from him. Doesn't happen in the end. The bomb will go down, so it will be a 4v3 retake attempt. But as we've seen so many times, War don't mind retaking, and Metals is going to cut down Zappy. This is a very difficult situation for Renko and Alfoon, who will fall, and the bomb will be defused. And just like that, Brody, it was that simple.
I think War have got their mojo back would be the best way to describe this at the moment. And I'm not going to act like, this is the biggest of games, I guess, overall here, because, we're already looking at two teams that are currently kind of sitting at the very bottom of Challengers Elite Stage 3 here in Europe. My concern, though, for pushing here is they need to do something pretty fast, because if they go 0-5, it begins to be one of the situations where you have to start bringing theory crafting into the mix to actually decide whether or not you will qualify for the knockout stages. And you never want to be in that position. You never want to be in the place that Pushing Gaming are in right now. So they need to get some momentum in their favor effectively now.
Yeah, you don't want to be relying on other people at all. And this is a weird situation for War, because if they go on to win this, have they answered any questions, really? No, I don't think so. So it's a case of Pushing have got more to prove here than War, and right now they ain't doing it. So, it's another first blood out of War. Alfoon's going to follow. Journey's feeling really hot, and Zappy's in an absolute hellscape. So this could be round 4 straight on the bag. 1v4 from Torres, do you think it's going to happen? Not a chance in hell.
Not a chance in hell. Well, Andy calls it. Is it the correct call? Absolutely. Of course it is. Team War once again with the vigor. And, I want to pause the brakes on this for just a moment. Andy, for you at least, looking at this right now, because quite clearly something is going wrong for Pushing Gaming. What is it? Because they're 4-0 down in Search and Destroy. They didn't have a good time in the hardpoint either.
Yeah, the thing is, I think that first round is crucial because the momentum reset between changing maps and you head into a different mode where everything slows down again. If you get off to a decent start, you can be like, okay, we had a bad hard point, let's put it behind us. But if you get off to a bad start, and especially that situation where Invidian clutches up the way he did, all of a sudden all those questions linger around, more added on top, and inside that communication, inside these players' minds, there's got to be a raging storm of questions right now. And when you're already 0-5, you've got to be sitting and saying, okay, maybe this level is just a step too far for us. Zappy's going to get the first blood, though. Give him a chance at least.
Lucky gets the first kill on a potential retake. Still, time is not on your side. War are the ones that need to make the first move here. Nade goes out for Metals. That should land somewhat near Rencor, but Torres takes down his teammate. Rencor takes down Journey as well. Metals puts bullets into a already dead body, and that bullet's not going to do anything as Team 3G, or Pushing Gaming, sorry. I've said Team 3G. It's not actually Team 3G. We can see it as Team 3G. Obviously, you guys can see it too there. Pushing Gaming finally win a round on the board.
Yeah. But brave, really, out of Invidian to start body shooting in the midway through a 1v4. Very brave from him. But I actually really like Zappy's play there. He just waited. He definitely heard Invidian, and he just took his time. And then if his teammates do fall, he's in this really nice position. So really heads up play. But him and Rencor are doing little bits. They're trying their best. You got to be looking at Torres and Alfoon right now. Boys, you've got to pick it up if you do want to show that you deserve to belong at elite level at the end of the day. You can't be going 0-5 against a team like War and expecting to do anything here.
Team War going to take this one relatively slow, of course. They haven't had the best record in terms of allowing teams back in a Search and Destroy today. Of course, they were able to close things out last series versus Team 3G. But now a 3 versus 3 as Torres is able to cause some damage with that kill onto Lucky. And now War, I think, rightfully going to be rethinking this play. They try to go over towards B. And for Zappy there, he doesn't even need to get a kill. He's just getting the information.
Yeah, this is great from him. He was going to fall to Metals. Nearly plays it really well. He gets a bit overzealous there, a bit over-aggressive, over-keen. He could have definitely just gone and found a corner and put himself in it. Make War come and find him. Torres is always going to win a big gunfight there in mid, so huge. Invidian slides out top train. Journey's going to win it, though, and we're down to a 1v1 situation. Okay, Alfoon, you've had an absolute stinker so far, but if you pull off this clutch, you're suddenly back in your team's good graces. Can he make it happen here, Brody? This is a tough one.
Oh, he spotted him out. Alfoon spotted him. I don't think Journey knows he's there. Maybe he does now. Yeah, okay, he does. Now he does. He was looking over towards departures. The player comes. Oh, Alfoon! He makes the play happen. Journey, quite frankly, just isn't expecting it. Alfoon with a Venom, and that's how you beat War at their own game, right? You come out with that aggression, and War end up losing their second round on the road here. Now, I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but Pushing maybe finally have found their footing.
Well, I mean, how many times have we've seen it already tonight where War have let a team back into a game, right? As you said, they've not got the best record this evening. I will say from Alfoon, though, if I started a game 0-5, right, after getting smoked, by the way, as well in the hardpoint, my confidence is probably not the best. Where he just summoned the cojones from to run at him like that, I don't know. Fantastic play. Gets the clutch. Do we see them run this back?
Well, that's the question, isn't it? Do we see them run this back? It's definitely possible, but Team War, okay. Invidian takes down Alfoon. Now it's a 1 versus 3. Every time that I think a gunfight's going to go Pushing Gaming's way, somehow the player that they go up against on Team War finds their way back into the gunfight. Can Torres find his way into a 1 versus 3, though? That's entirely different And he's kind of in a horrible position as well here. No matter where he goes, somebody's going to take him down. They also know. Journey's just seen his guns. If they didn't know before, they definitely do now.
Yeah, he also just slide canceled, so they definitely heard him in the next map as well. So, yeah. Oh,
Oh!
whoa.
Oh! No! No! Torres is still alive? Somebody kill him. Please, somebody kill him. Torres should be dead. Oh, finally. Okay. Oh, if Torres were to win that 1 versus 3,
I'm
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I've see you later. I've seen enough. What on earth? There was nearly some blessed timing and everything in there, Brody. What a very unusual round for sure.
Well, Team War now. 5-2 up here. Surely they don't chuckle this one. Of course, they lost a 5-3 earlier on versus Team 3G. Pushing Gaming are more than capable of making said comeback also, but Team War, they might be wise to it this time around. Love the aggression coming out from Pushing Gaming here, though. Zappy gets straight into control. A lovely place Semtex onto Journey, but unfortunately for Pushing Gaming, all the advantages they've earned is dissipated immediately.
Yeah, it just seems, as you said before, every time it seems like Pushing are about to give themselves that little bit of an advantage, War just see it out, right? And Renko's left in a 1v2 situation. Bomb is down and well away from reach, really, and Vidian's going to spot him, and this could well be this. Gets away.
Ooh. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. If I've learned one thing over the years, Andy, it's never to count out Renkor. But maybe you should this time, because Lucky takes him down. He knew as well. Lucky knew exactly where Renkor had gone, straight up onto the train. And War, I think, I'd say that was with ease. Another breeze here in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it's a very straightforward game. It's another case, like, that end play there kind of sums it up. Like, Renkor does a great job, gets the kill, everything looks okay, you've got a situation here, and then he either completely misreads it or just decides, you know, I'm just going to jump up onto the train and make a lot of noise and try and bait something. I don't know, but either way, it's definitely a weird play to make if you think anyone's near to you, because that noise cue is super loud, and it's just a situation again where they seem to take a step forward and then a step back if you're Pushing Gaming. Meanwhile, if you are Team War, looking all good for a second win of the evening so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Team War here are looking pretty good. I think they're looking so much more comfortable than they were in that game versus Team 3G and in all games prior as well. I think it's probably the key thing here is that Pushing Gaming are, I think, easier bait to take down than any other team that they've faced so far. So I think this is the confidence boost that Team War will need going forward. However, I believe that in our second game going on right now, we're going to be looking over into that match. Of course, August versus Maverick. It's 1-1 in the series. Of course, we did see August take a very close hardpoint versus his Mavericks roster. And now Mavericks end up winning the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and it's super close in the opening round of this control as well. So 9-6. They've got to make a dive here, though. They've got to try and make something happen, or Vortex is going to get the first. I thought it was just for a second. He's going to get traded out, though. He's going to fall, and they're flying onto the point. Nasty picks up one. It does touch the hill, but it's not going to be enough. 3 seconds left to go, and that will probably be that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. You can never quite count out August, can you, in those particular situations? So it is going to be Mavericks starting off strong here. Now, just for context to everybody at home, August now 2-2 after losses versus Elevate and Team Amelia Strays. So this is, I think, a win that they're going to need to really play well here in this elite. Of course, I mean, they could still well qualify. I think that's one of the key things to talk about here with this August roster is they could still well qualify even if they lose this Maverick series, right? But still, you want to have a good seeding going into either playoffs or the knockout bracket. So we'll see whether or not they're able to come out on top. But Mavericks doing pretty well at the moment, at least, to provide some resistance.
Yeah, no, they're doing what they need to do. Yako's 4-10 though. It's just a struggle of a start. Sukri is the man who is making things happen for the boys in blue. As I say that, he's going to fall, so I just absolutely cursed him. Josh picks up 2, picks up 3. Okay, B-Sport, make it happen, why don't you? And look at this flying up. They've got pressure on A. Vortex is causing an absolute nuisance over by Mansion. And if you're Mavericks, you are scrambling. You don't know where you need to be. And at this point, pick one place and get there all together. Luckily, there's a couple of kills light up blue. Super's going to pick up 2. Okay, crisis averted, but just for a second there, that looked horrible.
For a second there. But Mavericks now once again back onto the point, looking to capture this one. With that kill for Super, you might imagine this one will be over. As August, I think, yeah, they know it too. I mean, they could maybe make their way through the mid-map here if they want to make this one happen, but I think they're just better off giving up A. And you see this teams do this very often, right? Is just giving up A and setting yourselves up for that B push.
Yeah, and I love how aggressive they get, right? Like, look at Harry's all the way through the back here. Now, this is going to force a spawn, as you just saw for Yako, that's all the way deep. Not only are you immediately under pressure, but you are a key information player. Harry's going to cause them a lot of trouble. But the problem is Eric Boom is all the way through the back, and you've still got Sukri lurking around in kitchen. Sukri will fall, but Eric Boom could play spoiler here and break any setup that August hoped to have. And suddenly, look at those blue arrows swarming the hill. This is a great play from them and could be problems for August.
Could well be problems for August indeed. Mavericks, they're on this point. So I believe we're going to go over to our War Pushing Gaming game in just a second. So this is, of course, is our secondary match between August and Mavericks for the moment. And Team War and Pushing Gaming is the match that we will be featuring for now. But looking at Mavericks trying to capture this B zone, they should be good to, at the very least, capture this zone. Vortex inside the window, looking to come on through. There needs to be a hit from August effectively now. Maybe too little, too late. One play comes through behind. Harry tries to make it happen, but Yako picks up 2. And Mavericks win their second round straight.
Yeah, it all comes from that play with Eric Boom and Yako managing to get themselves super advanced, causing problems to what was a very good setup at one point. The problem with those setups that you go for is if they are broken, like if they aren't solid, you haven't cleared everything else out, it's just a weak foundation. Flipping back over then to this control for War versus Pushing, and War looking as hot as they looked at the end of that game too, Brody. Look at the difference.
Yeah, this is not good. Off the bat here from Pushing Gaming. I mean, War, they've already captured A, and although that's not in itself a terrible thing, like that's pretty normal as far as raid control goes, but the life differential at the moment is horrific. Alfoon does come on and pick up 2. Now, I will say, Andy, the one good thing here is that the control rules have recently changed. So if there is a round 5, it will not go down to live. It actually goes down to tick progression.
A much better system. Absolutely encourages teams to play for the hill, right? Encourages them to play for the objective, not basically turning it into glorified team deathmatch. If we were playing glorified team deathmatch, Renko would have a lot to answer for because he's 1 and 5. But at the minute, War are on the hill, and Renko's trying to sniff out where the pressure's coming from. Metals is going to get a big kill from Kitchen. Invidian is in Tiki, and he's going to cut down Zappy, who didn't expect him there. And a couple of white kills to answer back, so it's not all curtains, but 17 and 4. I think this round belongs to War.
You'd think, right? War looking pretty good here. I mean, what, Renkor, Zappy, and Alfoon, if they were to do this, this would be a contender for the best play in Call of Duty challenges we'd have had this season thus far. 3 versus 17. What a story that would be. And hey, Pushing Gaming, they seem to have got the pen out to write it. Journey does take down Zappy, though. Now Alfoon falls, and hey, I entertained the thought for a moment, Andy, but I think maybe it was foolish to even do that.
If that would have been one heck of a story, considering how much they've been blown apart so far in this series. But yeah, a very long shot. It's just all too simple for Team War, right? Like, this is part of what we were saying before. War have a lot of questions to answer right now, and even though they're blowing, pushing out of the water, this doesn't answer too much because it's too straightforward. There's no difficulty or adversity here.
Team War What can they do here in round number 2? They've just had such a stellar series overall, to be honest, and immediately right off the gate, more of the same. Lucky able to pick up another one. Journey finishes it off now, and Team War, I look at this transition, it is just so smooth. Straight away, they move from covering the A zone straight over towards B. Journey is now over here to pick up the slack. It is just constant pressure coming in from Team War. And Pushing Gaming, they've cracked under this pressure time and time again in this series. And even though we saw maybe a little bit of light from them in the hard point at points and in the search and destroy for a couple of rounds, it has just been War's story throughout this entire series.
Not what you want to see if you're pushing, but they must be here for reasons, right? There's a system here that rewards merit and good teams get here, but clearly, at least for one or two of these players, this is a bridge too far, a leap too much, and unfortunately, when you look at those KDs, when you look at the way in which War have walked all over them, it's painfully obvious.
It is, isn't it? 20 seconds now on the clock here for Pushing Gaming to make their way onto the point. Now, they do have some modicum of control over towards A. We'll see whether or not Lucky is able to do anything about that. He picks up one before getting the hell out of dodge, and of course, that's the right decision to make. But, oh, Lucky takes down Torres as well. One for the road. Pushing Gaming, they should get this capture onto A, short of some miracle stop from Team War here, but I don't think that's the story overall, as Lucky takes down Torres once again, simply outplaying him. It is just Zappy on the point. There's no way Zappy gets stopped here, right? Yeah, okay, that's fine. Zappy does get the kill in the end, and this should be a capture, but once again, it's the same story. 17 versus 9. If Zappy can get these streaks earned, maybe something will change for Pushing.
Yeah, that's the way back into this for them for sure. But even then, you would have to pull off a masterful play with this, because you've got Nvidian who's all the way pushed up in Mansion. You're not getting the opening kills anyway. It is traded out, but it's still not there. Metals wins with a Diamati. That's even worse for them. So yeah, this round belongs to War. Pushing are just going to have to Hail Mary it for the remaining 3. Otherwise, an early bath.
Team War once again piling on the pressure, and I am getting a little bit deja vu here because it's Pushing Gaming once again in an impossible situation. It's Rencor and Torres now in a 2 versus 16, making a 2 versus 14. As Team War bring it all the way down to Rencor. All those streaks that we were talking about maybe for Zappy, they have gone out the window, and Team War once again with ease. Oh boy here, Andy. This is looking like a strong Team War roster.
It is in this game, but I just still don't see how this does enough. Like, don't get me wrong, I think this win would put them. This win puts them onto 2, which very nearly secures them into the next stage. And the problem is, though, do they have enough? Like, the quality that the level that we've given this War squad, the level that they've set themselves throughout the year is definitely one to be competing for and winning championships. A win like this against Pushing Gaming, all it says is, okay, you're not the worst team in the elite. I mean, Metals is 20-8 and looking very, very hot for this one. He's certainly feeling it, but it's Pushing are just not answering with anything in return either. I think that moment at the start of the S&D, I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, Team War looking pretty good here to close out this series versus Pushing Gaming. I mean, obviously, you don't want to get ahead of yourselves at any point. Call of Duty is wild. I think it would be the best way to describe it. Anything could happen at any point. If Pushing Gaming could flick the switch and come back into this one, what a miracle it would be. But at this point in time, it is just looking far from likely. Although Team War here, they've decided to split their efforts up. They've actually made their way onto B now with 2 ticks of progression over towards A.
Yeah, there's a couple of unfortunate situations as well for Pushing, like long. Oh no, wait, they get the wrong stick back. So fair enough. I was about to say they're getting they're catching some unfortunate circumstances as well, but they do get a lovely piece there. 2 ticks basically on each site. A minute left to go. If this is caught, you've got over 2 minutes left. There's pressure now on B. There's players on A. Brody, this one's over.
Yeah, this one is Dunzo. Lucky is on A. Look at the split effort coming in here from Team War. They will capture B no matter what happens. But, I mean, A is just so hard to defend. It is so hard to defend. And it only takes one crack in the pushing gaming defense for a Team War to actually take this one. Yeah, they surely will do, you'd imagine, right?
Journey nearly has streaks. He's just looking to hunt Zappy. There comes the artillery. He's still alive, so he's still playing for the missiles. And you know, it's just every time you see Pushing get a kill in that feed, you're like, oh, okay, here's something, and then it's immediately answered back. And Journey's just going to call them in now, because why not? They've only got one tick left to go, 90 seconds, and oh no.
No. Well, that's a little bit of miscommunication, isn't it? Decided to use them to try to take down Pushing Gaming, but hey, streaks or no streaks, they're going to jump straight on this point. Now it is just Lucky and Nvidian on here. A couple more kills and it will be done. Zappy is going to fall all down to Alfoon now to defend this point. Has to take on a fair few wars on many fronts, and that's a few 2 wars many, as now Team War 9 versus 3, Pushing Gaming once again in a very familiar spot, but they're not even going to get a chance to stop these kills, you'd imagine, as Renko actually does stay alive here. Alfoon gets another one as well, and they do make it a 2 versus 7. I mean, look, there's quite a lot of time here for a Team War to make this one work, so you just don't want to do anything silly. Zappy now in a 1 versus 6. Surely not. Nope, is the answer. Team War with a 3-0, a confident victory, one that will put Pushing Gaming in the dirt here in Challengers Elite Stage 3.
Yeah, if anything, I think towards the end there was even a little bit of extra. I don't think that War were perhaps focusing the objective towards the end. I think they were looking to make their KDs look good and maybe put some salt into the wounds of Pushing Gaming. And that series was as simple as that. Moving over to a series, though, that has got a bit more spice. We saw that really interesting control. August 2-1 down to Mavericks, Brody. Definitely not what you would have expected coming into this, but all due respect to Mavericks, they're making the plays happen.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Mavericks here. This would be a huge series win for them. It would be a statement victory against an August roster that has looked so good. Of course, August are your Stage 2 champions, therefore reigning champions in Challengers Elite, and it will be a massive win for Mavericks if they could get it done. Right now, though, they are down by about 60 points or so over on Moscow Hardpoint, but they do have this rotation on lock. Just a couple more kills, and it will be a pretty good start for them.
It will indeed, and if they can get, I love that Eric Boom has pushed out the back here. That gives them a nice bit of map control, but it's all coming from the front, and Super's going to cut down 2, cuts down 3, will eventually fall, but he's done enough to give his team a lifeline getting back level in this one. And I mean, this hill is a weird one, right? Because the way it's set up, you would expect it to be super contesty, but actually you get a lot of big scores here, a lot of good holds. And I love this workout. Eric Boom is going to get the worst timing in the world, and Vortex is going to put a couple of bullets into his back. But great stuff out of the SMGs. They're not sitting back and saying, okay, August, we're going to respect you. They're taking the fight to them, and that's what you love to see out of these sides.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you need to fight off a squad like August that has such confidence and vigor on their roster, right? I mean, when you've got that dastardly sub-duo of Vortex and Nasty, you really... It's just such a tough duo to face down in any given situation. So Mavericks, they need to have a response to that. And of course, I mean, we've said it in the past, they do. Eric Boom is a stellar player. You need to turn up here in this game of Hardpoint to close out what would be a great series win for them. But as we move over towards the next set of rotations, Super and Eric Boom, they're able to pick up 2. Sukri with yet another one. And August at the moment here, a little bit battered away from P1, but they're going to have to focus on this rotation towards P2. And I don't think that's the worst thing in the world for them at the moment.
Yeah, really interesting spawn out there for Josh, who ended up somehow down near Library and then spawns next at PD. You're going to end up with Eric Boom spawning down by Bank. So this says that August do have control over P2. Perfect for them because they're about to take a 50-60 point lead and be relatively commanding. And P2 obviously a big money hill here on Moscow. That being said, when you've got someone like Super who's shooting as well as he is, maybe they can break through the front here. Maybe Maverick is not all hope lost, and they can try and take the fight straight to them. But you need to clean up those kills, and if that doesn't happen, they're in a really difficult place right now, and watch the Red Arrows swarm.
Eric Boom, I mean, he's able to pick up one, but Vortex is, I think, importantly, they're taken down off a spree. I think that's the most important thing overall here is that August at the moment, if they were to get streaks at the end of this game, Moscow is a pretty open map. I think there's literally only one hill that could be considered inside, so those streaks could be useful in many different situations. Especially with the lead that August are building up at the moment, every single kill is going their way. That streak would have been huge. A massive shutdown there from Mavericks, but still, you haven't exactly staved off the terrible situations. August, they managed to get the entirety of that time there on P2. Now we move towards Fountain. This is a huge rotation for this Mavericks lineup. Can they do it? Eric Boom loses the initial one. Yakko loses his too. And this falls on the shoulders of Sukri and Super as his teammates spawning out across the map. No way does this happen for Mavericks.
This would be the most heartbreaking scenario. They've rotated early, they're here first, and the kill feed's been red for about 3 years. So this is really, really bad for Mavericks. August are going to take not only the really solid P2 hill, but now a setup on the really solid P3, and you're going to need to see some incredible plays, and Josh answers back, nearly gets 3 of his own. So, I mean, I don't know. Is it too early to call it? Mavericks are a good side, but do you really see a team like August giving up this lead on Moscow? Look at them. Harry's 18 and 8, nearly make it 19. Do make it 19. Do make it 20. Okay, feeling himself. And when he's warm and he's feeling it, the other team would put in the hurt locker, Brody.
Yeah, this is rough. This is, I don't really know how to describe this other than this is just pure destruction coming in here from August. Great map victory potentially on the line here is Mavericks. I mean, they've broken that 100-point marker with that final second on the hill, and they do have the rotation in hand, but this is just so hard to come back from. And I'd say, generally speaking, the maps in Cold War are not forgiving in terms of when you do go down by a margin like this. It's very hard to bring it back.
Yeah, I completely agree. I do think that, Moscow in particular, there's a lot of straight lines, a lot of lanes, a lot of setup where you can just put yourself in almost like a structure kind of formation and use the environment to make things very solid and secure. And Nasty's going to use his environment perfectly because that car is going to save him from certain death. And this one looks like it's going to end right here. You've got just Yakko who gets onto the point. We talk about environment. I'm not sure about how much that trash can is going to protect you, Yakko, and down you go. Little bit of a contest comes in to try and make it more respectful, but ladies and gentlemen, this has been an absolute walkover.
Yeah, August, they're going to walk away with this one. That last couple of kills from Harry is definitely going to solidify. August end up winning map number 4. That is a statement victory for them there, as now they're able to tie this series up at 2-2. What a performance from War. Generally, you do really love to see it from them there. And of course, you can take a look at the final stats there. Harry, 26 and 9. He is just an incredible AR player on this team ever since he has joined this roster. I think the stat line for August, the crazy one, is that out of 10 possible grand finals, so 10 competitions that have taken place so far, they have reached 8 with that roster. Incredible. They've won 5 of them as well. Won 5 of those grand finals. Half of the competitions on the line. August has just been an incredible roster this season. And, Harry right there, emblematic of exactly what they're doing right.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, this isn't exactly Harry's breakout year at amateur level.
No,
he had a fantastic year in Modern Warfare, and then I think he's only reasserted himself in Cold War. He was good in the obtained roster, and now he's truly, I mean, August's run of results are absolutely ridiculous ever since he moved into this team. And, to me, I do ask questions around this. You've got players like Harry putting up this kind of consistency. We start talking about, when things start to go back to lands and being more relatively normal is the word I'm trying to look for. And we start to see expansion. Do we start talking about young boys like this who are fantastic?
Yes. Yeah. I think the conversation, we start to talk about sort of players like Hydra, right? And I know that is what somebody would describe as a generational talent. I think you can definitely apply that very same sort of talent to a number of players here in Europe that are currently being overlooked. I've tweeted about this many times, right? Europe is a very deep region, despite what some commentators out there, and I mean that's casters, I mean people, of course, who have opinions and such, and podcasts and such like that, believe Europe is a deep region, rich in talent and such, and just the amount of competitions that we've seen teams come through and beat out the top teams in this region, it really does just go to show that North America is not the only region with talent. And although COVID is currently, I mean, it's the primary reason why you're not seeing CDL teams often picking up European players. Hydra, of course, is really the exception. Of course, Insight also. It just, I think it would be nice to see European players make their way up to the CDL. COVID willing, when it can happen, which of course will probably not be this year. But Andy, for you and I here on the stream, that's going to be it. Now, I know that everyone kind of out there at the moment is like, oh, game 5, there's a game 5 going on. Unfortunately, just because of the setup, we kind of, we work with these streams with the players to make these streams happen. So we kind of have to go abide by their rules. And unfortunately, in this particular matchup, we are not being allowed to cast the Search and Destroy. Nothing against the players for that. That's just, we've simply got to respect it. That's just the way it be sometimes. But Andy, it's been a great day of Call of Duty. I've loved casting with you.
No, thank you very much. I've absolutely loved it. I wanted to see some incredible players. I really have got to see that. And I mean, casting alongside yourself, man, what an absolute pleasure. And I do believe I might be lucky enough to get to do it again sometime soon. So yeah, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to be back on the European stream tomorrow to cover the final rounds of Challengers Elite Stage 3 here in Europe. Of course, it always gets very mixy in the final rounds and the very final day of action in the round robin stage. So you guys do not want to miss that. And I believe tomorrow we'll probably be back on the regular stream at youtube.com/C/I-hold-shift. As long as YouTube decides not to break on us today, that is where we shall be. Of course, we'll also be back there tonight with, I believe, McCormill and Cruz and Spaz. Will be taking over the North American Challengers Elite community broadcast. And of course, while it is currently offline, you guys should go check out the main stream at youtube.com/COD Challengers. If you're not subscribed to that channel already, you bloody well should be, because there's some awesome content going on over there with some great casters also as well. So make sure you guys check that out. I believe it's, I want to say either 12 or 1 p.m. BST time. I don't know times anymore. These late night streams, they get me going. But anyway, it's going to be awesome, so make sure you guys go check that out. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to this stream today, and we'll be seeing you guys later on for North American Challengers Elite.
Take a look at yourself. Can you accept what you've become? Another simple shadow of whoever you're around. Mold to them and sing their songs, just like them and play